Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where we have verified that what we thought was going wrong is indeed what was going wrong. So we now know for an absolute fact that the connection from here to here, while it is connected, isn't showing up as a cost of 1 the way it should, but rather as a cost of 1,000. And here to here is also showing up as a cost of 1,000. Which tells me it is 100% a problem with our get entry cost here. So our building from building. Okay. Let's take a quick look here. So this hex here, this building hex, doesn't keep track of what type of building it is. Can we see that here? Technically, no. Lovely. Okay. So we know it works in the first world hex and the last world hex, but out here, from the jump to the different world hex to here, it doesn't work. It doesn't work here, it doesn't work here, but then here it mysteriously works again. Does it work from this jump or from this first point, though? That's what I want to figure out here. So let's go ahead and come up here. This is World Hex 461. So let's go ahead and go to 461, and let's check to see when this starts back up working. So this is a jump right here. And it actually is connected. So this is viewing as connected, whereas this is viewing as unconnected, or rather, if I can, there we go. This is viewing as unconnected, and then from here to here is all unconnected. From here to here is connected, from here to here is connected, but from here to here, or rather from here to here, is unconnected. Now that's intriguing. And then there's the weird little jumps like this. I have to assume that's a connection issue. The known bug with the get nearest entry point not always returning the nearest entry point. Like this connection here should probably return here. Or here. Or both. Well, in reality it should just connect up to here. It shouldn't return within the same world hex, right? What if it didn't return within the same world hex? So let's go to hexmanager.getNearestEntryPoint. I don't expect this to fix the problem, but it'll be an interesting little experiment. So our get nearest entry point here, let's get nearest hex. Here's get nearest entry point, excluding the world hex passed in. So then we get the nearest world hex, exclusion. So this already shouldn't allow that, right? When do we set up the adjacencies here? Like, there's all this. We've gone over this several times. Let's, get nearest entry point. Here we go. So we're excluding the world hex that we're in, theoretically. Get building hex position, new building dot location. Then we add the off-tile building. Interesting. Okay, so then with the get nearest entry point, we then do a check through here. Our world hex is get nearest world hex exclusion. which I believe is implemented up here. Yeah, right here. So yeah, that should work fine. If the collision hex is not equal to exclusion, we should also check... Well, we have it tagged. But we should probably then just go ahead and say if col hex equals no, continue. I don't think that's going to fix it, but I don't know. Maybe it will. Okay, and then our get nearest entry point here obviously is not fully working. So our current would be new int 3, world hex, hex index, get nearest biome hex within world hex, position world hex -1. So we get our nearest world hex, and we get our nearest biome hex within this world hex. And then we iterate through, specifically the road entries only. And then we get the building hex position. And we just have that be our nearest one. So yeah, that should work fine theoretically. And then the other question is, why is it only working for the first and last world hex? And that's the question we've had this whole time. It seems to me, there's nothing special about those two world hexes, right? Like, it seems to me like they should theoretically treat all world hexes the same. Unless there's something weird in the pathfinding culling. Which perhaps there is? It shouldn't be in the biome hexes. Theoretically, it should be in the world hexes. And then it adds 2 as the first one, so we know we have the last one in the list, the destination hex. Then we go all the way back, and we don't remove at 0, so it should have the first one in the list. Okay. So is it a problem with the biome hexes? Well, why would it be that? Because it shouldn't be a problem with the pathfinding at all. Because the only thing that can adjust the G cost here is building.getEntryCost. It has to be this function, which of course includes is adjacent on road. It has to be in here. So if this returns true, then we return 1. Otherwise, if we get through all of this, we return 1,000. If it's not the same world hex, or it's not the same biome hex, we should automatically return true. However, we know from this that that's not necessarily the case. It's not necessarily doing that. Because down here, where we were right here, the world hex and the biome hex are different, yet it returns 1,000. And the question is, why? Does it have to do with this check? If it's not a road, but it should be a road, what do we have up here that we can work with? We've got the building type, let's just real quickly debug.log, and this is going to be very slow. And actually it's going to be this. System.enum.getName type of building type. That's going to be very, very slow indeed. And we can come in here, and I think we no longer need the debug log here. We can comment that out. Because we have the information that we were looking for from that. So the main question now is, are some of these not returning the building name? Like the building type? If that's the case, then that's a little odd. But that could cause some of these issues that we're having. In fact, that could theoretically cause all of the issues. But the question then would become, well, why is it not returning that off of those two world hexes, the beginning one and the end one, but it is on those hexes? I don't know. The whole thing is bizarre. Why is it treating some of them differently than others? And the only way that I can think of, if I go back in here, that that it would not do this is that it's not getting to is adjacent on road. Which would mean that this is returning false. That's the only thing I can think of. So let's go ahead and buy this clearing and create a route there. Select the route. We're going to go right up here. Relatively short. And we're going there. Yeah, I expected this to be slow. Okay, that was a little faster than I expected, actually. So yeah, you can see here it's outputting all of the names as expected. So clearing, road corner, blah, 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 blah. And I mean, it's outputting these, it's outputting a lot. Oh, hang on. None. Well, isn't that interesting? That fully explains everything, except for why it's giving us none. But the fact that it's returning none for all of these fully explains the behavior that it's doing here. And the question then becomes, oh, I know what the problem is. Yep, I know what the problem is. I'll show you. I know 100% what the problem is. So let's go in here. Select this route, route management, remove route. Apparently we can't remove that route. That's okay. So, the reason this isn't working, or rather the reason it works in this hex, is because we entered this hex to generate it. And then we came up here and entered this hex. These hexes haven't been generated. So for example, if we were to come in here, and go here, here, here. Actually, we'll go here. And then we create a route. I mean, we don't have the money for this, but we create a route, say... I don't think we can afford to purchase. Actually, we can afford to purchase. So we're going to go ahead and purchase this. And we'll create a route here. Select this route. And now we're going to go up to this hex. We've generated these 3. And then route management, edit route. Now this is going to take a little bit because it has a lot of outputting to do. But look at that. It works correctly. Oh man, that is such a stupid issue. And it took me so long to figure that out. Well, we don't need this debug log. So, what this ends up meaning is that we need a Boolean in our world hex that would be something along the lines of biome generated. Oh, it's here already. Generated buildings equals false. So once we generate the buildings, do we currently set that? Yes, we do. Okay. So then, all we need to do is in our pathfinding, in our world hexes, do something along the lines of this. When we sort our list and get our world hex current, if current.generated buildings equals false, and this should be 2 equal signs for comparison, then we just need to do this. Except that instead of biome hexes, this should be current.biomehexes.count. And then current.generate buildings, current.biomehexes I, and then current.generated buildings equals true. So when we consider it, we go ahead and generate the buildings at that time for that world hex. Now that might slow down our pathfinding by some degree the first time we do it, but that should, theoretically, solve the problem we've been having for so long. And it all came down to that one debug log. I mean, the other thing we could do is we could have it, like, generating constantly on a different core, prioritizing the world hexes around the one that you start in. That's another option. But for right now, this is what we're going to do. This is a potential optimization later on, but this should 100% fix the problem. Assuming it generates. Okay, come on. There we go. We'll go ahead and skip that, and I'm going to do this exactly like we have before. Land management, buy land, purchase this duplex. We're going to go ahead and demolish that. Route management, create route, select the route, and now we're going to go up here, a ways apart, and we will go ahead and go to edit route mode, and the question is, just how long will it take to generate these buildings? And the answer is, a little while. Oh, hello. That's some interesting stuff right there. It moved the building hexes, so that's good to know. However, as you can see, it's actually following the roads now. And that is excellent. And everything looks basically right. Like, it looks like our hexmanager.getNearestEntryPoint is no longer having issues. All of this looks correct to me. Anyway, it is time to put a cut in here now that we have this finally working. And we've got a little bit of optimization to do potentially on that. Have it generate these, like, slightly differently, but for right now, we're probably going to leave it as is. It's going to take a little bit extra time on the first generation only. So that's the thing. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here, and next episode, we will move on. Subscribe for more, and I will see you all next time.